Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will just be answering questions about my 10,000 calorie challenge. And I just thought I would tell you everything that happened afterwards, during, just in case you were curious. I mean, when I decided I was going to do the 10,000 calorie challenge, I just thought it seemed really exciting, but I never really thought about like the after effects and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've seen in other people's YouTube videos that supposedly you don't put on weight from it, you just put on water weight. But I guess I kind of had a different experience, and yeah, let's just get into it. So I asked people questions on Instagram about things they wanted to know, and if I feel like anything else needs to be mentioned, then I'll just add it at the end of the video. So let's just get started. So someone has asked, was there any noticeable weight gain? So obviously throughout the day, I noticed you're feeling a lot more bloated, you're feeling really heavy, my belly was looking extremely big. But the sticky situation is, I didn't actually go back to eating clean after the challenge, because the second I finished the challenge, the next day I went up north to visit my aunt, and it's very, very, very hard to eat clean when you're staying at someone else's house. Like, I wasn't making my own food, I didn't have my weighing scales to like weigh my food, and it was tricky. So I was actually it was great at the time. I was eating loads and loads of takeaway food, junk food, and after finishing the 10,000 calorie challenge, I was in that mindset of I can eat whatever I want. So yes, I actually put on an incredible amount of weight. After the challenge, maybe like a few weeks later, I was at the heaviest I have ever been. Usually I'm at around 9 stone 9, and I increased all the way to 10 stone 6, I think it was. I should have recorded the weight, but I remember it was like 10 stone something. Like I basically put on a whole stone. So yeah. Someone said, how did you feel after trying to eat 10,000 calories? It was horrific, I'm not gonna lie. I was so excited for the challenge, but honestly, by around 5,000 calories, you're no longer enjoying the food. And for me anyway, and I was just force feeding myself. I didn't want to eat the meals. I couldn't even think about the fact that I was going to be eating dinner. Like, I was trying to figure out what to eat, but the thought of food was making me feel sick. So I was like, I just don't want to eat anything. And I really just had to force myself to have that final meal, even though I didn't even end up finishing it. If I finished the meal, I probably would have reached 10K, but yeah, it didn't feel that great. So another person asked, was it more of a physical challenge or a mental challenge? I mean, to be honest, it's kind of hard to tell when it's a mental challenge, because you feel like you're physically too full, but is that your mind saying it? Honestly, I think I just was physically really full, because during that period of time, for some reason, and I think, I want to get onto this a bit later, but I think because I was restricting around that period of time, I hate to admit it, but I was more likely to binge on foods that I shouldn't eat, which I think is why I was so excited for the 10,000 calorie challenge. Like, in my head, I thought I was doing it for a healthy reason, but actually now I'm in the mindset that I'm in. Maybe it was because I was really excited to just eat the foods I really wanted to be eating. So bringing that back to the question, for some reason during that period of time, I could eat large amounts and not feel full. So I do think that was more physical, and by that point I just had way too much food in my system, and my body was like, hold up, because my belly felt like it got to the point where there was so much in it that I could not breathe. And that was not mental. That was definitely not mental. I was sitting in my chair in the final clips, and I was just really struggling to breathe. It was not great, to be quite honest, and I really wanted to finish it, but that feeling was so horrible I couldn't continue. So I had somebody ask 10,000 in what time period. So I'm not sure, they probably didn't see the video, but I did the 10,000 calorie challenge in 24 hours. I started at 12 in the night and then finished around 9 p.m. the next night, because I couldn't eat anymore. I would have probably carried on until 12 if I could eat more, but I couldn't. Someone else asked, is it actually difficult to eat 10K in one day? Yes. Yes, it is. I do not actually recommend it to anybody. It's not a great amount to be eating, to be quite honest. I had somebody ask, how long will it take to burn that off? Now, as I already explained earlier, this is kind of like an ongoing situation. After the 10K challenge, I was just eating junk food. And then I realized my holiday was coming soon, and then I tried my best to diet, but I only had like a few days, so I didn't manage to burn it off, and I still actually have the fat from the 10, well, not from the 10K challenge, but from that period of time, I still have the fat, and I'm actually gonna start trying to burn it off soon. I don't feel happy in the body that I'm in now, and actually this holiday, it was so obvious to me that I wasn't the same weight as my last holiday from last year. Basically, I just knew that I wasn't my normal weight. Luckily, no one was socializing this year, so like I wasn't meeting people, so I didn't feel as worried about my body. But I do think if I was meeting people just like any other year, I would have felt very, very unhappy with my weight. So anyway, yeah, to answer the question, it's an ongoing process. I haven't lost it yet, and I'm gonna still be trying to. So another person has asked, would you do it again? Honestly, in my head, I kind of want to. A part of me really, really wants to finish the 10,000 calories, but at the same time, I know how horrible it was, and if I couldn't do it then, I don't know why I would be able to do it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, for some reason, during that period of time, I was eating a lot. Now, for some reason, my body doesn't need that much food, so I think I would actually do worse this time. So no, I would not do it again. Did you know it was gonna bang views? Okay, so I know for a fact that these challenges do really well for some reason. People are just obsessed with 10,000 calorie challenges, and I knew that, but that wasn't the reason I did it. As I said, during that period of time, I was restricting my food, and I was just, for some reason, super duper excited to eat that many calories. I don't know why, and I think I underestimated the challenge, but yeah, I did it because I wanted to. But I'm very glad that the video is doing well, to be quite honest. It's the most viewed video on my channel, so that's really exciting. Someone asked, did you struggle? Yes, yes I did. Did you feel any different energy-wise? Energy-wise, 100%. Literally, as the day went on, I became more and more sluggish, and it was horrible. I was literally like dragging myself through the day. After meals, I literally laid on the couch to the point where I couldn't even move. I was felt really uncomfortable. I just didn't know. As I said, like breathing hurt because I just felt like I was so stuffed that like I couldn't breathe properly. Honestly, I can't imagine people that eat that much on a daily basis, because I mean, I doubt people who have 10,000 calories a day, but like around that, I don't know how they do it. Honestly, I was struggling. And then a girl that I know wanted to ask a few questions. So she just said, I want to know like the mental side effects of it, in terms of if it changed your relationship with food in a certain way, especially because you're into fitness too, and there was always a stigma against some types of food. Did it perhaps help with that or make it worse? And just anything other on that path. So throughout that time, at the start of lockdown, I thought to myself, this is the best time for me to start dieting. For some reason, I was unhappy with my body at that point in time, but now I look back, I was in very good shape and I was actually quite slim. So I don't know why I did that. But anyway, I was in a calorie deficit. I was trying my best to work out as much as possible. It was going well, but I wouldn't say I was extremely consistent. I was weighing my food, planning my food, and I was counting my macros. So I had all my days planned, and honestly, I was enjoying the meals I was making, but I think for some reason that was creating some type of situation in my brain, because I felt the urge to eat a lot of bad foods at once. I really don't like the word binge. I'm not going to use the word binge, but I really, on the weekends, I allocated myself a cheat day, mainly just so I could go out with my friends if I wanted to, go out to a restaurant if I wanted to, and give myself that allowance. But the cheat day then ended up not just being one cheat meal, but it ended up being a cheat day, and I was eating way too much food, and this created a very unhealthy situation, which I think is why I didn't end up losing any weight during that lockdown period, and I stayed consistent the entire time. Also, as I said, during this time, I developed this weird relationship with food where I was obsessed. It was constantly all I thought about, and I was also just craving every single bad food you could think of, and I was just so excited for Saturday was my cheat day. I was so excited for Saturday because I would just overdo it. And that's again why I was so excited to do this 10,000 calorie challenge. And then after the 10,000 calorie challenge, as I said, I didn't go back to being restrictive. I carried on eating as if I was in the challenge, I guess you could say. And that continued until maybe like a week before my holiday. So that is ultimately what made me put on a lot of weight. So I don't know whether I could blame the 10,000 calorie challenge. If I didn't do it, would I have continued my weird diet, or would that still have happened? I don't know, because it's very difficult for me to explain to you whether the challenge made a difference. I think it did. It made a difference to the way I ate food, and it changed my regime, but I couldn't tell you if that's specifically what made me put on weight. I think it was a build up after that. So I was hoping that after the challenge I would kind of dislike food, because I felt so full and sick and maybe had a bad view about eating that much, but genuinely I don't think it changed anything. It's weird because after I came back from a holiday, I'm fine. It's like my whole system has reset. I'm no longer obsessed about food. I eat when I want to. I'm not exactly eating healthily, but I'm not overeating either. And I feel like I'm in a very, very healthy mindset about food right now. So maybe I needed to go through that challenge for me to feel the way I do now. So I went through that whole thing of restricting, binging, I guess you could call it, and then eating very, very normally on holiday, and then coming back and I'm just reset, and it's great. Because it's weird, on holiday you would assume that I would eat more because the food is free, but actually, because I'm there to enjoy myself, I listen to my body. If I'm not hungry, I won't eat. If I want food, I will eat. I'm allowed to eat what I want, and therefore I don't feel like it's there and I have to have it, because I have the choice. If I want it, I can have it. If I don't want it, I don't have to have it. And that whole situation is a great mindset for me to be in, and I think I want to continue that. So as much as I want to lose the weight that I have gained from the challenge and onwards, I want to do it in a more healthy way, because revolving my whole life, and I know a lot of people do this, and props to them, and if they can do that in a normal way and not become obsessed, then sure. But I think a lot of these people lie, to be quite honest with you. I've heard so many fitness people a few years later come back. For example, I've forgotten her name now, but she was very, very fitness related, and now she has completely like reset her lifestyle and basically eats whenever she wants, whatever she wants, I think. And she's so much happier for it. And when she was making videos, she made it seem like she was really happy with this really excessive lifestyle, but in the end she wasn't. And she finally came and told the truth about that. And I think it's good to tell the truth, because then people that are watching, your viewers, might think, well, she's okay with living that very excessive, strict lifestyle, so I should too. I don't think that should be a thing, and I'm happy that I've realised that now. And yeah, revolving your whole life around food is not good, because you become obsessed, and being obsessed is never good about anything. Never be obsessed about anything. This kind of went off the whole 10k challenge, but I just wanted to say like my overall situation and how things have changed from this to this. You know, like food has always been an evolving thing for me, and the way I view it has always changed, and I think it will continue to change, but hopefully I have learned something from this, and hopefully you guys that are watching have learned something from this too. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't seen the 10k challenge, go watch it anyway. It was very fun to edit, very long, but I enjoyed editing it, and I think it's a pretty good video, so make sure you go watch that. I hope I have answered your questions properly. If you have any other questions, just feel free to comment down below or DM me on Instagram. My Instagram will be here. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!